Hi there, welcome back to the Lisa Nichols Show, where I share tools with you that you and I both need so that we can create the life that we want, create the dreams that we have, make our reality exactly the way we want our reality to look. This is that place where we do it. We come together and we study mindset, belief systems, tools, techniques, action steps. And what I love most, one of the things I love most about this show is your comments. I love when you comment and when you share with me what you're thinking, what happened, where the aha was, where the breakthrough out loud was, where the moment where I'm not alone and you're not alone. So thank you so much. Gloria, you were referring to the episode of mastering one lesson before taking on another one, before moving to the next. How do we really master one lesson? I love, love, love that episode because I am like, I used to be the belief that I could do everything all at one time. And then I learned this lesson. And I'm always relearning this lesson, by the way, Gloria. I commented on this comment a while ago, but I just thought it was so powerful. I wanted to comment on it again. You said, BOL, bite size, exclamation point. And I love it. Bite size is everything, right? You said, I have a tendency to implement everything at the same time, only to feel, what's that word we all use? Overwhelmed, and never completing anything. And you said, I had a breakthrough when listening to this episode. So I just want to acknowledge you because I'm constantly in that cycle as well. And Kimberly, I love your comment. You commented on the episode that was entitled, Ground Yourself to Enhance Your Relationships. Ground yourself to enhance your relationships. And Kimberly, I've commented on something like this before again because I love it so much. Listen to what people need, not just to what they're saying. In other words, hashtag BOL, you said, Kimberly, be present in the moment. Yes. Can I tell you, I've always been in pursuit of the next greatest experience for my son. You know, when he was coming up, I always wanted him to have the next greatest experience. And then when I got very present, that I was missing 1,000 nows trying to pursue one great future. Oh, that meant everything to me. Once I got that, let me sink and drop into the present moment. And I found that everything was more beautiful. Everything was more beautiful in the moments. As quiet as they could be, as big as they can be, every moment was necessary. You know, I believe that when you want to read someone's intention, there's two desires. Either you want to know what they need or you want to know what they want. And I believe, one, so many things can be achieved through better communication. Communication to me is the doorway to everything. Communication is the bridge. Communication is the distance between you and everything you want is communication. So when you want to figure out what someone needs, communication. When you want to figure out what someone wants, what their agenda is, communication. We communicate lazy. We communicate lazy. It's not to judge you. I'm in that category as well. We don't look at what's the best route to get the outcome that I need and want versus what's the easiest route. Think about it. How many times has it been easier for you to stay quiet versus having that difficult conversation? Think about this. How many times have you wanted something or needed something, you didn't know how to say it, and you just didn't say it? You didn't keep going until you figured out how to say it. You just didn't say it. And we actually use the statement to each other, I don't know what to say. As if I don't know what to say or I don't know how to say it is an out. What if every time you said I don't know what to say, you had to turn around and hear the word, well, figure it out, and say it? In a relationship, in a difficult relationship, whether it be sibling or romantic or colleague, when things are rough and when it's challenging and when there's a hiccup and there's an icky experience in the relationship, it's easier to attack. It's easier to make wrong than it is to go, where was the breakdown on my part? And then where was the breakdown on their part as a result of what I did, or where was the breakdown on my part as a result of what they did? And then what's the reconciliation? That's a lot of work. It's only a lot of work because we're communication lazy. And if we build the muscle of communicating like that, and I say I'm in this equation as well, then it stops becoming difficult. Because if you want to know someone's intention, I mean, I can give you 100 sneaky ways to get it or to try to interpret it. Or let's just exercise our communication muscle. But let's ask better questions. I think the quality of your answers are a direct reflection of the quality of your questions. And this might feel like it's a hard episode to listen to because it feels like your sister friend is kind of beating you up. Whatever. You know, you're a big girl, you're a big boy. This is what we came here for. Like, if it feels like communication feels icky and you don't know how to do it, then pull up your big boy pants, pull up your big girl pants and figure out how to make communication feel better. I think so often we bail out. We opt out. Now, I know I have. I've opted out. Oh, I'm just gonna let time pass. Time doesn't make the communication appear. Time just puts distance between the opportunity. So that statement, time heals everyone, that's a lie. Sometimes you've been angry or hurt so long, you forget why you're angry or hurt. You just know the anger or hurt. And the distance that grows between you and someone is because of time as well. Communication can close a gap. Communication can mend a wound. I have a friend, and probably in 5 years of friendship, we may have had maybe only 3 breakdowns. What I love, this is crazy about our breakdowns, is every single breakdown, every single hiccup, every single funky moment we had has brought us closer because we were so committed to the friendship that we would communicate at all costs. So on the other side, I trusted him more. I valued his friendship more because we made it through. We talked it through. So literally, I'm clear that we will grow old as friends because we've learned how to disagree. We know how to talk. We know how to have breakdown. We've identified the communication that we need. So when you look at that, I know I've set up communication a lot. Now you're like, Lisa, teach me some freaking communication to do it. Okay, I'm gonna give you some. I can't give you all of it here, but we have more time together because I'm sure if not by now, you've subscribed. If not, you will soon, right? Communication. So here are some questions that you can ask that are better than the ones. So here's some crappy questions first. What did I do wrong? Why is this happening to me? Why don't you love me? Why do you treat me that way? So when you ask why questions are asking for proof of that thing you don't want. Even to God, we say, God, why is this happening to me? That's the answer you don't even want to get. But yet we ask those questions. So I want to replace some of your disempowering questions with more empowering questions and questions that give you fuel. So how about this? What is it that I can do to move us out of this situation? Where can we focus on to help us avoid ever being here again? What lesson would you like me to get from this experience? Now notice, my questions are different and they do require you to evict your ego, or ladies, your she-go. The questions that I'm asking come from a place of servant leadership, comes from a place of humility, and comes from a place of being willing to surrender to your highest desire, which is connectiveness. A lot of times we will forfeit and throw out connectiveness for the sake of being right. So to answer the question, how do I learn how to read people's intention? Ask yourself, what do they need or what do they really want? And then find ways to give them that without blowing up the space. Give them that without losing yourself. Give them that, because when you can serve someone else, they innately, the overflow will come back to you. I'll say that again. When you serve someone else, the overflow comes back to you. I do a lot in my day. I do a lot in my week. I do a lot in my month and a ton in my year. And I put out a lot. But I gotta honestly tell you, what I put out is 1/10 of what I get back. Because the more I put out, the more it comes back. So there's a rhythm that's occurring. So if you want to read someone's intention, replace the word intention for what their desires are, what their needs are, and then ask yourself the question, how can I best fulfill that desire? How can I best serve that need? Because there's a way that you can. And when you do, you transform the relationship. Let's start with your communication. It'll get you there sooner, quicker, faster. Remember now, this show is not just a monologue. I am not interested to just talk to you. I'm not interested in you just hearing my ideas. I'm not interested in me being the only one showing herself here. I want to see you. I want to see your ideas. I want to see your thoughts. I want to see your takeaways. This is a dialogue. I'd love to hear your voice. I'd love to hear your heart. What's the biggest takeaway from this episode? We talked about reading someone's intentions, and we talked about communication. Communication is huge. It's ginormous. I guarantee you, you probably figured it out by now. Communication is at the essence and core of every encounter that's working really good. And communication is at the essence and core and the center of every experience that doesn't feel good. So what's your comment? Share with me where that's showing up in your life, where it's working or it wasn't working and it started working when you shifted it. The aha about communication, I really want to hear from you here. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already done so. What are you waiting on? Come on. And then look out for more amazing content, not just from me, but from the tribe. Just as valuable as this content is in the video, the contents and the comment and below, they're really juicy too. So read the comments and then comment back on someone's comment. I love seeing the dialogue exist between my tribe as well. After all, this is your home and we are your tribe, and I am your sister in prosperity and in possibility. And every single time I say I believe in you, it's because I do. I believe in who you are, and I believe in who you're becoming. And most importantly, hear me when I say, I love you because I do. I'll see you soon.